Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him right on back. So today's return guest is Duff Ferguson, and he is the partner and founder over at Amplitude Digital. Duff, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Adam, it's great to be back.
Oh, man.
So the tour is on.
It's awesome. It's been great catching up with all my old podcast pals, and I'm excited to get into today's topic. So, marketing tech stack. So we'll talk about things like analytics, automation, all that good stuff. Lots of people listening right now. Hot topics you propose. But before we get into that, I don't want to assume all our new listeners caught the first episode. So let's just get into what you're doing over at Amplitude Digital. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, you bet. Well, for those who haven't heard of us, we're what's called a search marketing agency. We're in Los Angeles. We've been for the last 15 years. Basically, what we do is we kind of provide momentum in traffic and sales for e-commerce, mostly consumer packaged goods, food and beverage, consumer goods, and fashion. So things like protein bars, clothing, various kinds of consumer goods, and things that people buy and consume over the net, and do through some of the marketing tools that we've talked about, or we'll be talking about today.
And just to be clear, if everybody didn't catch that, they've been doing this for over 15 years, over 16 now, I think. So that makes you a founder in that space, meaning that like a lot has changed in that last 15 years. Are you kidding me? It's not. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard that part. So we got the real deal on the line today in terms of marketing, what we're talking about. So Duff, let's just jump right in. So marketing tech stack. Where do you want to begin?
Yeah, well, you're kind of blowing my mind here. So I'm thinking back to what it was like when I first started. I'm aging out here.
Hold on, Duff? Did you have to call Google directly to get keywords? Because 15 years ago, I think you still had to pick up the phone.
Yeah, you had to go up there with your library card and show it to them and check out the stuff.
True story.
Well, it's changed a bit, but basically what we've observed is, there's all these companies, and they're basically selling online. And for those that aren't on, or maybe on Amazon, but want to sell directly through their own websites, they're just using a pretty typical set of tools in all these different categories that we end up using for them because they have them as part of their stack. But the central piece where everything begins is usually, what is your e-commerce system that you're using to power your website? And WooCommerce was really popular for a while, because so many websites started off on WordPress, had these great content management systems. But I'd say number one, and again, I don't get paid for any of these endorsements, it's just what I see more and more being used, is Shopify. It's a really excellent base system for running your store. It can handle quite a lot of products, and it's just beautifully laid out and from an administrative standpoint and from an SEO standpoint. And it's just a very familiar thing. If you surf around the web and buy stuff, you probably most of the time are using Shopify websites. So when you go through checkout, and it just feels right, and that's really important in e-commerce, just shuttling that person right through the system to purchase, with making it feel right and not wonky or strange in any way. But a few others that people use that we see, of course, is Magento is a big one. It's usually used for really big catalog sites, really, really huge ones, tons and tons, and it's very customizable. Whereas Shopify is more like, you're in our system, you have to do it our way. So that's, kind of where I was. I mean, BigCommerce is another one I was thinking of. That's not as common. WooCommerce, though, I really would stay away from now pretty much at this point. It's just not, first of all, it's open source, so there's a lot of updating to stay in tune with its security. But it all just really wonky, it's slow. So I generally recommend staying away from that and moving away from it if you already got it. So then the question is, go ahead.
So let's take it a step further. So we have, let's just say, in theory, they have their Shopify, or maybe even their. Actually, let's stay on that one a little bit longer. So, like pros and cons of setting up your own store or going through Amazon, or is it an and? Is it not an or? Is it an and? Like you need to do both?
It's probably an and for now. The interesting thing is just people suffering a lot of pain with Amazon because it really is their system and they control it, and you're kind of there as a guest.
They have the data.
Really
the data. It's like people buy our books all day long, and I don't know who any of these people are, so I can't put them on my. I shouldn't say these people. All the people listening, thank you so much. I love all of you. I don't mean it like that, but I don't know who you are. So go to our website and sign up for the the newsletter, or else I'll never know who you are. I'm sorry, Duff. Go ahead.
No, it's true. There's definitely a need to just make sure you're getting the most out of these systems. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that with Amazon and your own, Amazon's kind of competing against you at all times, even if it's kind of taking your money to put your stuff on their system. So the support is hard to get through too. The products go up and down, you don't realize, but it is the big kahuna out there. It's just for everyone. If you're really intending to be in business in the next 5 years, you got to figure out a way to maintain your own presence, your own connection with your customers, in addition to whatever you might get from Amazon. Because people love shopping on Amazon. I do myself. Mm-hmm. So it's just, like I said, it's like a thing with the checkout.
Oh, it's an and. Really it's an and, like you pretty much have to do both. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So now let's say you have that. Let's say I had to get that one out there for you. And so let's say you have that. What's our next step?
Well, I think you want to start thinking about monitoring the traffic that's coming through the website and seeing what people are doing. There's a couple of different sort of silos there. One is just plain old analytics, where you can attribute the traffic to something and see what happened to it and say, okay, all these sales are coming through Twitter. And, Google Analytics is actually still very, very good and for the most part free. There's a Google Data Studio also that allows you to kind of display if you've got some tech chops or someone who knows how to do it. Excellent for setting up dashboards and things that show all your KPIs, like where's my traffic, what's my cost per acquisition. And there's a great system we found, too, that combines a lot of the data you might get out of your platforms into one view. So if you run Facebook and Amazon, all this stuff, it's called Report Garden, and it just allows you to set up a dashboard that runs and is sort of excellent system.
Does that also look like social media? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can, anything from just the stats that you're getting, so user stats, in addition, if you're doing advertising, you can look at that as well. We usually set up dashboards for people, their websites, what is the traffic there, each one of their ad platforms, and then how do all of them combine, because you might have somebody who looks at your social media and then goes to your website and buys your book, but you want to know that they first came from social media.
And now you can see the real reason I brought you back, so I could learn from you, Duff.
Well, the learning goes both ways, my friend.
That's awesome. And I feel like analytics and all these other things, like they're I mean, you need it. It's not you because you have to know where to spend, where to allocate your dollars. You need to know what your return is on it. I mean, things have gotten so advanced so fast. It's not anymore just how many clicks. You really need something that tracks everything. So let's talk a little bit more about the analytics side and the importance of that.
Yeah. Well, it's just really important to know what kind of traffic they're doing, because you can have a flood of traffic that you're paying for at the front end that just doesn't do anything on the back end. And it could be everything from just friction in your checkout process to the wrong stuff they're seeing when they arrive, the wrong kind of connection between the ad they might have hit and what they see when they arrive. Like, well, this isn't what I expected. You just want to make that experience as smooth as possible. So one of the things that we like to do is kind of sneaky, but there's nothing unethical about it. It's just
I like sneaky stuff. Tell me.
Sneaky is good. Well, is things like heat mapping software. There's a few providers that one is Lucky Orange, Crazy Egg is another. HubSpot.
For those that don't know I don't want to assume everybody listening knows what heat mapping is. So let's go into just briefly explain it, please.
Oh, yes, it's very sneaky. So basically, it's a little pixel that goes on the website. It doesn't slow it down. And you can pay by the month for these systems. It's usually $50, $100 a month or something, depending upon your traffic. And it just watches everything that comes through and literally records every session. Mm-hmm. So say person number A came in through this page, and you can watch their cursor moving around. You can see what they clicked on, see what they kind of paused over, where the page is scrolling. It's like a video recording of the site playing in front of you. And that information can be aggregated, so you could say, all right, it looks like everybody's getting stuck on this page. Let's watch people on this page a bit and say, oh, they can't find the check button. It's hidden down here. Like, of course, they're looking, they're clicking, they can't find it. So it's really valuable because you can see, and if there's a particular issue, you can send it right over to your technology people. Say, here's specifically here's the recording, here's what they're doing, move the button. Really powerful
and it
stuff.
changes right after. I love that you bring this up. And for everybody listening that hasn't done this, just so you know, like I did this on one of my previous sites, and you just remind me to do it for this one, and it literally like immediately changed our revenue for the entire site. And I was like, it was a stupid button. Sorry. Like I was like, are you kidding me? Because you saw them scrolling up and down and up and down. And it was just like an unusual pattern. And I'm like, why would they be? And I'm like, they can't find the button. Get out of here. So we needed to like, we basically added a second button, and it changed everything. Like the conversions on it. It was like, I think it was some like, it was something it was years ago, but I remember it now that you say that. Dang it, I need to do that too. I'm taking notes here, Duff, of what my to-do list. Thank you.
Yeah, keep going. That, one other thing I mentioned is kind of related to that is site speed, which may not be an issue for you, but if you're selling anything that if you have like 20 or 20, 30 products, your site speed is going to start to factor in how well you show up in Google and all that stuff. And of course, it affects the slower your website is, the more people just say, then go somewhere else and stuff, or go to Amazon. There's actually a free system. It's called GT Metrics with an X at the end. And you just put in your URL, and it runs a very sophisticated report of all the different elements that are loading on your page as it loads. It kind of gives you can test from different servers and different locations, different geographies, and then you can hand that report over to your technology person and say, it's saying, I got to minimize my JavaScript, or it's all these redirects. Can we fix it? And it'll identify the top 5 or 10 things that are probably keeping your site slow if it is, and that's free. So it's not 100%, but if you're looking for some quick fixes, some things that seem kind of early on your website, it's a great place to start. And again,
and that's called gtmetrics.com.
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one. I'm gonna check that one out too. No, all good. Well, hey, Duff, I can talk to you about this stuff all day long, but we're just about out of time. So that being said, if somebody wants to follow up and to learn more on what you're up to, what's the best way for them to reach out and learn more about your company?
Well, we have this new domain set up. It's amplitude.digital. So if you type amplitude.digital into your browser, no need for a .com or anything. That is us. So
awesome.
You can reach out.
Well, hey, Duff, it's been awesome having you back on this reunion 2020 episode. So great catching up, great tips and insight on some things and some tools that the people out there can listen, including myself. I got to go on GT Metrics, see how fast my it's loading. I don't know. We got to get this thing. We got to get this going.
Yeah, gotta be sitting down while I'm watching that.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, and to the audience as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, then definitely subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the comment section of the video. Love to keep the conversation going over in the YouTube community. And Duff, thanks again for coming on the show.